Yeah, I think everyone knows the ending at this point. I feel like.
I do.
You just found out last night.
Yeah.
He was super upset. It's great, you know. It's our last time putting out one of our movies together, you know. So it's just it's the actual last leg of everything professionally together, you know. So and it's the last time we get to share one of our movies with the fans, and in this situation, they were so instrumental in. I mean, they were the entire reason that we got to do 3 movies, because it wasn't exactly a film that was guaranteed a franchise pretty much from the start. It all really hindered on their support. So it's just cool to get to share it with them one last time, and you know, and just send it off. It's nice.
We're really proud that we've made 3 movies that, you know, we think tell the story the way the fans wanted to hear it, that are also unique to the movies. We haven't just reproduced the book, which I think is interesting. And I think we're relieved that we made it and that we're friends at the end of it still.
It's certainly bittersweet. It's obviously very exciting that we get to finally kind of, you know, see the end of this thing, you know, and give the fans hopefully something they've been waiting for the last 2 years, you know. Obviously, we've had a ton of fun making these movies. We've made lifelong friends together. And I think we're also super excited to kind of move on to the next chapter, you know. So, yeah, it's kind of a flood of different types of emotions and all together.
Yeah, we've spoken about it. It'd be lovely to get to work together again. A few of us. I think it'd be quite fun. We've mentioned it a couple of times. Don't know how that would be or what it would be. Would be. I think everyone on the cast would be up for that.
I think she's had the biggest journey, and I think she's had the most interesting journey. When she was introduced in the first movie, I was kind of worried that would be it. You know, she'd arrive and then she'd just kind of be along for the ride for the rest of the time. I knew that she was tough and she was interesting, but I wanted to find something more in her. So I think it's great that in the second movie we see a complete different side to her personality. Once she regains her memories and her trauma from her childhood, you see her make a decision that most people, you know, would be afraid to take.
That's kind of the fun part about these movies, is that they're not just sequels, they're not just retreads of the previous movie. They each kind of, you know, branch out into a new world and hopefully kind of expose a larger universe in this world of Maze Runner, right? So the first movie was kind of concrete and, you know, the primitive kind of textures and overgrowth, and that kind of in the very last shot of that movie, we're exposed to that world of the Scorch. You know, sand and rust and decaying civilization, and that's where the second movie took place, right? And the kind of the world of the cranks and the virus that was, you know, out there, you know, destroying the world. And this third movie is about steel and glass and light, you know, and the world of Wicked, essentially, you know. And that's the 3 distinct looks of this world that are all kind of hinted at throughout each of the movies. But we get to really kind of, you know, focus on one at a time for each movie, which is kind of cool.
The Glade is always a set that I think was just our coolest set.
I think
by
so
far.
too.
It's where it started, so it has that, and it has the nostalgia. But just in terms of it being, you know, a fully functioning and everything, you know, everything was actually there and built, and everything you could use, and there was props, usable props everywhere, and it was like a real world, you know, and it was huge too. We would just like, our days of shooting would basically just like, you know, be walking around different sections of we walk across there to the hut now, you know, and to Council Hall or to the hammocks or whatever. It's just like, I don't know, that was like the coolest.
It was cool as well because there weren't any there were walls.
I think because it isn't a love story, because it is a story of survival. And I always like to think, you know, the fans of the Maze Runner books were kind of the kids that weren't doing the same as everyone else. They liked it a bit grittier and a bit scarier. Some of the stuff that we deal with is very dark and very intense and very serious and quite mature for a young adult book. So I think they kind of relate to that. They like to see the darker side of things, and they're kind of a bit brave.
You know, I came on the first one. It was this tiny little movie, you know, like $30 million movie that no one really paid attention to. Even at the time, it wasn't that many books had been sold, really. So I really, the success really starts with the fans. They supported us. They kind of got people excited about it. They got the word out for us, So yeah, I have them to thank for all this, and we're just there to kind of service, James's books and hopefully give people a fun, experience in the movies.